take a listen to what the two leaders are saying.
It's a big task to organize a visit like this. We are very happy to welcome you here in Poland. Tomorrow we're going to meet allies on the oriental flank of NATO, and we consider your visit as very important, but not only between regions, but also with the visit to Kyiv. This is a combined worldwide signal that you sent to us. And you have taken on the security of Europe. You've demonstrated that the United States, once again, such as in the First World War, takes its responsibilities. And both times it means acting for the return of democracy and of freedom for people, as it was for Poland after dozens of years in 1918. And also it expresses the influence. I would like to thank for his influence Jean-Paul II, and your policy is in line with President Reagan's in the old days. Of his policies. Thanks to all this, we have reclaimed our freedom. Yesterday, you accomplished a lot, and we see that the United States can help maintain the world order and find a vast reaction in response to unilateral attacks and loss of freedom caused by countries such as Russia. For us Poles, it is very important, from our point of view, for the safety and security of Poland. We are very honored, and we feel that this is going to be a very strong message to the world. I think the whole world has its eyes on this visit in Poland, and we are very happy about it. Thank you for drawing the world's attention to this. It shows that the US is up to its responsibility for world security. And this is a choice that, of course, we support every day in Poland, and we support the Ukrainians in their resistance. We feel that our path is the right one, and the support you are giving us as the first representative of the US is a very strong signal. And behind you, NATO, it's a guarantee of world security. There have been many NATO missions, for example, the mission in Romania, with the Polish contingent in Lithuania and the brigade out there. It's all the more important that we feel that it's very important, and that Poles appreciate enormously your support and your commitment in building safety and security in the oriental side of Europe. Thank you to the American investors as well. Poland feels much better. You can come and reside in our country. Poland is a safe country, and thanks to the presence of our allies on our territory, to the American support, we very much hope that security will be guaranteed even further than here, because the US is filling its commitments. I've met up with my counterparts at the Conference for Peace and Security in Munich, in London, and every time I've had the opportunity to underline that we have a strong link, that the transatlantic alliance is very strong. Prime Minister, Mr. Morawiecki, is now steering this and keeping a close eye on the actions of Parliament. And soon we shall have the presidency of the European Union, and we would like to celebrate the anniversary of accession of Poland to the EU, and at the same time underline our ties with NATO. This collaboration is on all levels, economic as well as security. We have a lot of work ahead of us. You have demonstrated your support, and that is the key to future security in Europe. And we are turning to our Polish history and what happened in the last century, and that is why we believe so strongly in this. Welcome to Poland.
And any excuse to come back to Poland, I take advantage of. The welcome has always been extremely generous, and I appreciate it. And so thank you for inviting me back to Warsaw at this critical moment. You know, you mentioned John Paul. I think I told you the story. When I was a young senator, I wrote a report and had a very senior staff member on the Foreign Relations Committee who was, and that was a committee, the next youngest person on that committee was 32 years older than me. And I came back from Europe and I wrote a report saying that Poland would be free within a matter of a year. And my chief of staff then said, please don't write that because you're going to look foolish. And I got a phone call from John Paul asking whether I'd meet with him. And as a practicing Catholic, I joked with him that he was more conservative than my views were, and went to see him. And we finished the conversation, and it was all about Poland. He never once mentioned anything about Catholicism. No, it was a true story. And we're walking from one end. If you've been to the Papal Library, it's about as wide and as long as this room with a simple desk at one end and nothing much else. And he said, would you like a photograph? And I said, sure, Your Holiness, I'd like one. And we're walking from the desk to the other end, we're having a photograph, and he put his hand on my arm and he said, Senator, remember today I spoke to you as a Pole, a proud Pole, not as your Pope, as a Pole. So I realized the power of Poland all across the board. Look, all kidding aside, that happens to be a true story, but you know, I was here last year and we visited the base where Polish and American troops were, and standing side by side, showing our strength and determination. The truth of the matter is, the United States needs Poland and NATO as much as NATO needs the United States, because there is no way in which, for our ability to operate anywhere else in the world and our responsibilities extend beyond Europe, we have to have a security in Europe. It's that basic, that simple, that consequential. So it's the single most consequential alliance, I would argue, maybe the most consequential alliance in history, that not just modern history, but in history. And so I made it clear that the comments of the United States and our allies as part of the commitment is real, and that a year later, I would argue NATO is stronger than it's ever been. As I told President Zelensky when we spoke in Kyiv yesterday, I can proudly say that our support for Ukraine remains unwavering. And as I told our Russian counterpart, it's a while now, I said, you're seeking the the Finlandization of NATO. You're going to get the NATOization of Finland. And it turns out I didn't know Sweden was coming along as well. But all kidding aside, I think we're in a, if we keep our head and we are focused, I think we're in a better position than we've ever been. And I want to thank you, President, for how Poland has supported Ukraine. It's been extraordinary, Mr. Prime Minister and Mr. President, what you've done. Truly extraordinary. Last year when I was here watching people come across the border and the feeling that those little children, the looks on their faces, those mothers who are left behind, husbands and fathers, it was just incredible the way you've welcomed. What is it, 1.6, 1.7 million Ukrainians you've welcomed. And, you know, we reaffirmed our ironclad commitment to NATO's collective security, including guaranteeing that the command headquarters for our forces in Europe are going to be in Poland, period. We're also launching a new strategic partnership with plans to build nuclear power plants and bolster Poland's energy security for generations to come. And Mr. President, the connection between Polish and American people is extremely strong and deep. I was kidding with the President. I was, as a young man, I was born in a coal town of Scranton, Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, in an Irish Catholic neighborhood. Then when Cole died, we moved down to Delaware, to a town called Claymont, Delaware, which was a working class town. And but everyone in town was either Polish or Italian. I grew up feeling self-conscious. My name didn't end in an S-K-I or an O. But all kidding aside, the connection between, I was telling the President, the pride, the overwhelming, demonstrable pride that the Polish Americans feel about Poland and the role you're playing now. We were talking about it. It's extreme.
Yeah.
It is. You would be, if you haven't seen it, you should come and see it. And so there's a lot of challenges that we have to face, but I'm confident we can do it together and develop our partnership even further as we meet the challenges we're about to face. I'm absolutely confident in that. So it's a delight to be back, and I'm anxious to get our discussion going, although the President and I solved all the problems in the other room a moment ago. There's nothing left to solve, but all kidding aside, this is a critical relationship for the United States, and we thank you for all the cooperation and help.
President Biden, do you have a reaction to the speech today?